Up next on MCTV Local 13, Machina brings us Sketchbook dissections. It's always nice to look back when the demons and monsters were only infants.
Sketchbook dissection. Sketchbook dissections. Wonderful.
Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Hemon, half of Machina. I do comic books, I do web comics, I do young adult novels, I do YouTube videos, I dissect sketchbooks, and today we're going to look at Wintertown. Yeah, so I actually painted this cover to the Wintertown. You can kind of see it's chipping away whatever crappy cover it used to have. But I wanted an inspiration book. I was going to do all my art and ideas and everything Wintertown in this book. And so I did this little idyllic winter village, the little church steeple and snow everywhere. It's Sketchbook 1, right? Isn't it? It's cool, right? January 2010. So official. Be right back. I'm gonna get some water. I'm back. I have water now. Alright, so this is pretty this is zoom in-y. Man, I used to write tiny. I don't think I really write this small anymore. I don't know, why was I writing so small? It's like crazy person small. Let's see, so we start with the original outline. Act 1, the previous year. Let's see, before he was Evan, he was Steven. I don't know why I have to be confusing. And it's not even spelled like my name. Start with one of Steven's autobio tunes. On a creative high, Lucy Has Gone ends with a hint of sadness. Breeze through the next year. Autobio tunes, plans, day, week, month, year. Check this out, letters. One of the original ideas I had for Wintertown was to have, they were gonna pass back and forth this book. The story, if you don't know the story of Wintertown, is Evan and Lucy, every year Lucy comes from Georgia up to Connecticut and she spends Christmas week and New Year's week with her father before going back down south to live with her mother the rest of the year. These two childhood friends basically got separated when Lucy's parents divorced. And for these 2 weeks a year, they come back and they have to kind of reconnect from scratch and figure out where they are. This year in particular, they fall in love. So yeah, lots of little tiny little writing going month by month. Dad, go to school, make money, get married. Graham, make art and be a homosexual. Mom, do what your father says. Tiny writing. So these are some little sketches that went into the Scrappy Doodles. You guys have seen me draw this friggin' guy with the arms coming out of his face before. Here's Evan. I was kind of going for a cross between like Ben Folds meets Dawson from Dawson's Creek. That was basically what I was looking at. This is Evan's house. I was actually like driving around Connecticut near these ocean towns during the winter trying to find like where would he live, studying. Like I had an actual map of where things were and what the house should look like. Time for a State of the Union undress. Hey. This is I think I redrew this at like 14 by 17, so much bigger size with Evan and Lucy in the foreground. So that became something that's actually in the book, but originally it was just a sketch. And this was something kind of in this seaside Connecticut town. I was driving there with my friend Elaine, and I remember we kind of turned in this one street and went up this hill, and behind it you could just kind of look down on the whole town, and I thought that was like a really iconic scene. So I kind of wanted that Connecticut, New England winter, you know, the streets all decorated for Christmas, and inky black skies, lots of black and white, really kind of harsh tones in this. Man, almost any time I have to draw a school in any project, I just draw the school that I went to. So one of the things that they would do in these sketchy doodles or whatever it's called is they'd always be like, did you see this? Did you get this? And that with Elaine, my ex-girlfriend, we used to, or I guess we still do. We're always introducing each other to different things that we're into. And so that was something that while they're away from each other for the year, they'd be like, oh my God, have you heard Wesley Willis? You got to check out his albums. And can I just learn enough John Mayer songs to pick up girls? Boy. All right, let's hear. You left dishes. Now I'm cutting you. No, stop. Transforms. Laser beams. I was wrong. Probably was me who left dishes. Yeah, we are friends again. That's Lucy fighting with her mom, I guess. So I was really proud of this. I kind of came up with this right in the middle of the book. Lucy's playing with Evan's dad's little winter town titular pieces where he had those little like village of winter scenery and little houses and stuff, and everything was like perfect and clean and placed strategically, and everything was in its right place, which was like the opposite of how Lucy views life and lives her life. And seeing the little perfect winter town and Evan's house always kind of enraged her. Here's summer Lucy. So when the book kind of inverts on itself and we switch from Evan's point of view to Lucy's point of view, we cut to Lucy's life like in the summer, which is the inverse of winter, and everything's just opposite. Flip it all. I try to find ways to incorporate art into all of my young adult novels. Happy Face did it the most successfully. There was art on every page. With Wintertown, I was writing in third person. I was trying to be more of an author, and I wasn't quite sure how to incorporate art so much. So it's more like spot illustrations snuck in here and there, and every chapter would have like a 2-page spread of just scenery. And at first, none of the scenery had people in it, and Connie, my editor Connie, thought it made it look like it was some kind of weird ghost zombie town with no people, so I had to start populating it more. But stuff like walking through the graveyard, lots of this like iconic winter New England scenery. And so Evan had like a web comic that he was doing. Evan is torn between his wants to be weird like Lucy, and he's inspired by her, and he wants to be an artist, and his parents kind of push him more towards go to college and become an accountant or something like that, be responsible, and don't be a freaking cartoonist, you'll end up on YouTube with no followers. But so he did this webcomic that was about him and Lucy, except they're on like a big RPG kind of Lord of the Rings quest that mirrors the story that we're telling. The idea basically was, stuff would be happening in real time between him and Lucy as he's going through all these emotions, and can we be together? How is this gonna work? And Lucy being in love with Evan, but he's too straight edge, and he doesn't embrace his real needs, and blah blah blah. And so the webcomic that we see in between chapters actually takes place later. It's something that he started writing after the events of the story. So they kind of mirror the events of the story in a creative way. Some more New England streets. Here's a disturbing Lucy body with a weird smiley face. Once I'd figured out most of the book and I had done a couple chapters, I knew the format. Okay, it's going to have the webcomic, it's going to have the chapter art, and it's going to be whatever happens in this chapter. There's going to be a flip in the middle. Then I started really churning along here. So I'd kind of start with a page and I'd say, okay, this is chapter 3. Here's what's basically going to happen. Evan and Lucy meet for breakfast. It's winter. This is what they do. Struggle to find common ground. Lucy, self-deprecating, low confidence, rejects compliments. Jam strip says a lot. Is this it for Evan and Lucy? If only she didn't move. Changes in the air. So I kind of say what I want to happen, what's it gonna be about, and then I kind of figure out where it starts and it has to end in a different place. So it starts with them having trouble communicating, and then they're doing a jam strip, which is where you start one panel and then you pass it and the person does the next panel and they pass it back and you create a story together. And through that they kind of connect, and there's change in the air, if only she didn't move. So there's kind of more hope at the end of the scene than there was in the beginning. So I kind of want to figure out that value change, what's going to happen, and I kind of usually break it down into a 3-act story. In this case, they aren't connecting, they bond through art, and suddenly they're on a better page at the end of it. So here we got chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is clearly a doozy. Chapter 8, chapter 9, I'm just cranking away. Phone meeting with Connie. Jot all my notes down during our phone meetings. The cargument. It's when you argue in a car. Evan's funk, talk with Lucy, epilogue. Alright, so the book is written at this point. Scrapbook, pro and con. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do that Scrappy Doodles thing, which eventually gets cut. This is, so even after you finish, even after you've hit the end, you go back and you revise and you take stuff out. That whole year in review thing got removed. Scrappy Doodles got removed. Lots of them. I think the ending got rewritten a few times. Here's Evan. And there's Lucy. Lots of chapter art. Spot art, illustrations. Here's some Beatles and Beach Boys stuff. So each of the chapter headings were named after a Beatles song or a Beach Boys song. And so like Evan was the Beatles and Lucy was the Beach Boys. And he listens to Pet Sounds at the end of the book, and he feels like he gets into Lucy's mind and he knows everything about her from listening to that one album. I wanted to do song lyrics. I wanted to actually write down the lyrics to Caroline No, because well after I had written a lot of this, I heard that song and I'm like, my God, did it just dead on nail so much of the story. Connie kind of gave me the push to reach out to the publisher and Capitol Records and all this stuff. I didn't get anywhere. I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't sure who I needed to talk to. A couple years later, when I did Bright Lights, Dark Nights, I was able to get rights. I think I paid like $500 to get rights to use lyrics from Kanye West and Nas, and I wanted them to be able to quote actual rap lyrics, and that was important to me. It's just more sketching. So happy. It's a lot of art in Wintertown, but it was, I felt like I just had to kind of force it in. And then I would even do stuff like this, like, there hasn't been enough art in a few pages, like, let's put some Christmas tree lights and we'll just put that on the side of the page, like, just so there's something there. I can't remember if this illustration was in the end of the actual book or if it was only in the end of the paperback. But the idea is they meet up in college. It looks like at the end, Evan's not gonna do his art dreams and Lucy's not gonna get into college at all. And it turns out she does get into college and he does go to the city and they meet each other. And at this point, they're ready for the relationship they weren't ready for before. And the back is black. All right, Wintertown, you have been officially dissected. Hit the like, hit the comment, hit the subscribe, hit the bookshop, go get Wintertown, why not? Hit up haveheartcomic.com, check out my webcomic, follow me on social media, look for all things Machina Corpse, check out all the other videos on YouTube. By the time you do all that, our quarantine should be over and you can go out to eat or something, all right? I will see you next week. Looks really bruised, doesn't it? Doesn't look good.
Get out of my head and into my sketchbook. As always, thank you for joining us today on MCTV Local 13. I hope you do find your way home sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, we'll be here for you whenever you need us most. I've got the med kit nearby.